let's take a few minutes to look at some well-designed websites or some better websites, right? First of all, these are all going to be things that you're probably used to. First of all, eBay. Yes, it is. The page is full. There's not a lot of empty space, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because even though the page is full, it's not crowded. Like this page is basically just 2 items with some related items stacked onto it. So yes, they do make use of the entire page, but they don't crowd a whole bunch of little things together. There's not a lot of animation. They're not switching colors around randomly. It's all pretty organized. And I assume that if you use eBay, it will track your searches and etc., and it will give you things that you've been searching for. Up top, we also have the navigation feed bar, and this is really well done by large categories, broken down into smaller categories. Excuse me, so that we can search for exactly what we want in a timely manner, or we can just flat out search in a category or in all categories. And now for something slightly less crowded, this is Lastfm. If you're looking for a good place to listen to music, this is one of them. This is a little less full than eBay, although in some ways it is a little more crowded, but it is nicely put together in that each of these squares is the same size. They put exactly 6 squares in this selection pane. It's easy to navigate through these 6 options if we want to have anything to do with those. Otherwise, we can search. We get our main links up at the top on the toolbar. We can log in over here. We can create a profile right here. It's all pretty well laid out, and they use this red color to good effect. Notice that the highlights are in red: trending, tracks, events, even the numbers of the trending tracks and the top tracks this week, up and coming, find music, etc., etc. And it goes on for a little while, but it gives us what we need right up front. It doesn't crowd us with a bunch of unnecessary stuff at the same time. And just as an aside, the God Machine is probably one of the best bands that ever existed. They put out 2 albums in the 90s, and then their bassist died and they quit. So that's just as an aside. Okay, and now something a little different. This is a search engine called Wolfram Alpha. This is a pretty cool science and math-based search engine. I like it. One of the things I like it is that it's so sparse. It doesn't have more than really what we need for the most part. It offers us the extended keyboard in case you're on a touch screen or tablet. You can put images, data, you can upload files, and it'll help you calculate or learn about those files. It's a really interesting kind of site, right? Or we can just use it as a straight up search engine. It works really well. And then of course you can also create an account, sign in. And they do have a few options plus some different background colors that you can choose, which is nice. If you really hate that green or that blue, you can go to gray, or if you're feeling a little happier, you can go with the orange, right? Not that that has a lot to do with design, but it does offer a little bit of choice, and it does keep the site from being completely boring. And then there are all of these little images upon which we can click. I'm assuming that the AE will take us to Arts and Entertainment, A&E. We can try one randomly. The Eiffel Tower. How tall is the Eiffel Tower? Well, let's search and find out. 1,063 feet. Once again, when we get to a page, they don't give us a lot more than what we need. Of course, there's advertisement. One of them is for Wolfram here. The next advertisement is for dog breeds. It's actually another Wolfram app. And then an actual honest-to-God advertisement at the bottom. So they don't waste a bunch of our time. They give us the answer. They convert it into different units. And it's awfully handy, and it's all easy to access. That's the best thing about it, is it's really easy to find what you're looking for. And one more. Okay, something that I'm sure you're all familiar with, I would assume, Google search engine. Very basic, right? You have search bar, you have the Google search button if you want to find a bunch of results. You have the I'm feeling lucky, I'm feeling playful. That's new. And then you have these options. If you have an account, you can create an account and you can do that. It just gives us what we need, right? And beyond this, of course, you know, it's a pretty standard search engine after that. Google has got good stuff, but it's laid out just like a search engine. Once we get beyond this point, there's not a lot of stuff distracting us. Things are clustered together in groups, right? All this is together as a group. This takes up its own space. All of this takes up its own space. This white space might seem kind of big, might seem kind of pointless, but there's just nothing else to display, right? They have these little links at the bottom that are necessary. Other than that, we don't really need a lot. So this is the good stuff. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope that this has been helpful. And please, if anyone has any questions about this mini lesson on design, email me. Send me a message. We can move to a discussion forum if we have to. Just do whatever we got to do to make sure that you're understanding the principles that we're talking about, how those elements allow your documents to be more usable, and how you can use those elements in the future.